Hi, my name is Ted Wakeman. I am a lifetime educator, been working with kids for about 25 years. I taught for 14 years in Los Angeles Unified School District in inner city Los Angeles. I've taught in the Republic of the Maldives, I've taught in Bali, I've taught in Costa Rica, and currently spent the last 2 years working with GameDesk and the PlayMaker program. I am an educational revolutionary, and I don't tiptoe around that because I think that our education system is in real need of reform. One of the things that I want to talk about today is this idea of student engagement. And also as student engagement bleeds over to educator engagement, which is something I think that we neglect to talk about and need to as a part of this ongoing discussion in educational communities. So why student engagement? I think that kids are bored for the most part across the country in schools. And don't get me wrong, certainly there are wonderful teachers doing wonderful things with kids. But the norm, and certainly what I think a lot of us experienced in grade school, was a sort of detachment in class. It's the reason that when kids come home and the parents say, "So how was your day at school? What did you learn?" And the kids kind of go, I don't know. It was all right. It was this, it was that. I'm studying for a test. Well, engagement matters. If students are sitting in classes and they'd rather be doing something else than be sitting there doing whatever it is that they're doing, then that's a problem. It's a fundamental problem that we have to address. And we can't say, well, this is what we've always done, so this is the way we're going to continue to do it. Student engagement matters. So why does engagement matter? I think that as adults we can easily recognize what it looks like when we're disengaged. What does that look like at work? What does that look like in any situation? It means that we're not present and we're not absorbing what we could be getting out of a particular activity or a particular situation. The problem with this happening in education is that students are sitting in classes, listening to, in many cases, an authoritarian teacher. They're sitting in rows and sort of, this is what you're meant to be doing, this is what you're meant to be learning, this is how you are meant to learn it. And if a student doesn't engage with that process, then those 8 hours a day are being wasted. So how do we create engagement? How do we get at the core of what turns kids on? And this is, I think, at the core of this one-size-fits-all kind of problem that we are facing in education. It isn't the same. It doesn't look the same for every student. And we know that because it doesn't look the same for every adult. Every adult isn't a soccer player, isn't an engineer, isn't an architect, isn't a doctor, doesn't run a bank. Every adult isn't interested and passionate about the same things. That being said, we sort of assume that for students in school that that everybody's gonna get the same education from the same person in the same frame, the same time frame, and in the same method. And we don't find that to be the case. I think that one of the ways in which we try to engage kids is to tap into the things that they are actually interested in, that they are passionate about. These are not empty vessels coming in and sitting at desks waiting for us to fill them up. These are students that bring a level of interest and passion to the table. How can we create educational experiences for students that allow every student to be engaged and successful in an activity? One of the ways we do that is to create opportunities for what we call ops teams. So with an ops team, it gives our students an opportunity, first of all, to self-select teams based on some observation of what people bring to the table. Kids are fully aware of what they bring to the table and what other students bring to the table. But it's something that we sort of frown upon getting into, I think, with kids. And this is something where we allow students to say, okay, so clearly Louisa has got an amazing aptitude for art. She's got a real talent in that field. And so in this particular video game company, we need an artist. We need someone to draw sprites. We need someone to draw backgrounds. We need a programmer in this. So we need someone who's got that technical prowess and that interest in doing that kind of work. We need a writer, someone who can write the narrative of the video game. We need a marketing team. We need people interested in advertising and that side of it. We need a project manager. And these are things that students actually can come up with as a means to understanding what it is to actually create a company of this kind of a video game company or any kind of company. And then those roles might shift if you were looking to create something else. But then in this video game company, what happens is that now you have this student who feels really good about their ability to be artistic, has the opportunity now to bring that to the table in this company and shine and feel value and feel worth. So we know that engagement matters. We know that it's a #1 reason for dropout in schools. We know that it's plaguing our educational system. So what do we do about that? What does that look like every day in class? I think that the first thing you've got to do is listen to your students. Find out what engages your kids. If you've come in with a curriculum laid out for the year and you're super excited about it and you are ready to lay it down, whether it's your own doing or a district mandate of some kind, if you haven't even tapped into what your students are into and what your students are interested in and what they're passionate about and who they are as individuals, then we've missed the boat right off the bat. So I would say the first thing is definitely finding out who your students are. Providing experiences in class that allow you to find out who they are, that allow them to come forth with the things that they're interested in and passionate about. We talk about sort of documenting progress and things like this. Well, why not in those first couple of weeks be documenting the kinds of things that kids are gravitating towards? And then from there, you start to create experiences. I think, again, we want to get away from one size fits all. So we've got to create experiences that allow each individual student to shine in the way that they want to shine. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to expose them to all kinds of different things, because obviously certainly it's important to find out, and it's important not to limit them to the things that they've already come in with, right? We also want to expose them to things that are going to expand that realm of interest for them and that realm of passion. But yeah, so then you start to create and you start to change, and this is where I think we bridge the gap between student engagement and teacher engagement. How excited are you about your curriculum if you've laid it out for the year over the summer or at the end of last year? How excited are you about what it is that you are doing every day when you walk into that classroom? I think that, that as you start to create experiences for kids that engage them and that are playful and that are relevant and that are applicable, and you start to see real passion and real growth in your students and real excitement. They start going home and talking about school, and school becomes less about what happened in those 8 hours, but becomes far more about what does life look like. School needs to look like life. School should not be separate from that. It shouldn't be something that happens within those 8 hours and then you go home and then life begins. School shouldn't be something that kids survive. It shouldn't be something that happens to them. It should be something that they are actively a part of. And this is also where educators get engaged. You start to create experiences, whether it's role-playing games or designing companies of some kind, or any sort of wide-ranging project-based activities that really help you and your students to become more of a team, more of a unit.